we have touched upon a point about the on-premise application versus the cloud application. I just thought of giving a real life example so that the understanding becomes much more easier. So what we'll do is we'll get into the example. So we all know, everyone needs food to eat so that we can enjoy our life. The food is offered through multiple ways. One is that you can have your own kitchen, so which means you need to have the kitchen utensils, you need to procure the raw material in the sense the rice, the vegetables, the masalas, the refrigerator, the cooking stove, all need to be procured. You need to have the machineries, you need to then have the raw materials to prepare the food. On the other hand, if you get into the restaurant, you just order for the food, whatever you wish to eat, and then you pay for the food. So you don't own, when you visit the restaurant, you don't own the kitchen utensils or the kitchen, the gas stove, you don't own the refrigerator there, not even the tables, chair, you don't own it. The entire thing belongs to the restaurant or the food company which owns the restaurant. So cloud is something similar to that. The end product, what you consume is food, but the way it is offered is different. Kitchen does it in a different way. You own something, whereas with the restaurant, though you take the food, the restaurant, you don't own anything apart from the food you consume. Now, let us now take this example into our ERP application. So, based on that example, comparing a kitchen with the restaurant, the end product is food which which a person could consume, but then how it is offered is different. So in case of kitchen, you own all the assets, whereas in case of a restaurant, you don't own any of the asset. So that is how the cloud and on-premises work as well. So none of these assets, of course, the client one, you might have the browser because that is your laptop. You don't own any of this. You don't own the application server. You don't own the software. You don't pay for the license. You don't pay for the database server. You don't pay for the database license, and you just use the application. So pay for the application. In that case, it is cloud. Whereas if you get the license for the database, you install it on the database server. On the database server, if it belongs to you, you have procured the database server, and similarly, the application license is procured, application software license, and the application software is installed in the application server, which is owned by you. Then it is called the on-premises. So the basic difference is you need to procure the assets. In case of on-premises, the assets could be the hardware server or the software application. And in case of the cloud application, it is only the pay per use. So maybe if you want to use the accounts receivables module or the ERP module as a whole, you have to pay the license fee, whatever is the license fee. Maybe it's one user is going to use it, or 5 users are going to use it. So one user may be $100, then probably 5 users maybe for $400 is what you pay for using that application. Still the assets belongs to the cloud company, whereas of course the data, you enter the data, those data belongs to you, and that is where all this security related issues comes into play. It gets little tricky, but otherwise from an example standpoint, I think it is now clear to you as what is an on-premise application and what is a cloud application. Thank you. Stay tuned.